Hey guys, welcome to another episode of CEO Medium Podcast. Today we have the youngest health tech entrepreneur Sahil Pruthi, who is responsible for the ketogenic revolution. He has disrupted the billion-dollar wellness industry with his mission to transform the health sector all over the world. Most of you might have heard of Keto India and its amazing transformational stories. Well, if you don't know, Sahil is the founder and CEO of the India's largest keto consultancy company, Keto India. With over millions of followers across all social media platforms and with clients in 16 states in India and 25 countries across the globe, Keto India is transforming lives with personalized care protocol issues like diabetes, thyroid, weight loss, and many more. Apart from being an entrepreneur, he's also passionate about products, marketing, nutrition, writing, and humor. If you are looking for some exciting, thought provoking, deep conversation about health, creativity, and businessy, then this podcast is gonna blow your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, Sahil Pruthi in the house. Sahil, brother, it's an honor to have you with us today. So, first of all, tell me how it all started and what is that one motivating factor that pushed you from being an manager at a leading MNC to becoming an entrepreneur?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me here, Bob. It's a pleasure being on this podcast, and answering your question in terms of how I moved on from running being a part of a big company, healthcare tech company. I was with a company called Innovator, and I was building B2B products for the US healthcare, and I moved on to starting this company. It eventually happened because one of my close relatives had a big chronic issue themselves, right? So they'd had a surgery themselves in the brain, and I ended up researching on how nutrition can help make sure that these issues do not happen in the first place, or even if they happen, the possibility of a recurrence of a disease, or where where when my relatives had a surgery, there is no recurrence of the disease that they had in the brain in the first place, right? Because I was researching massively, and I kind of understood the importance of nutrition and clinical trials and supplementation, not just in reversing or preventing the chance of a recurrence of brain disease. I also realized the importance of nutrition and supplementation in reversing other chronic ailments also, right, like PCOS, type 2 diabetes, hypothyroid, cholesterol, and fatty liver, right? So while I was doing my job at Innovacell, I kind of realized that I was doing this as side hustle, and I started to kind of generate a small amount of revenue, but I kind of realized that this is something that is really exciting me, and the kind of impact that I can bring at scale would be something that will be super exciting, right? So just before my own appraisal cycle, in fact, while I was there in my job, I kind of took a call that this is something that I want to do full time when I had like some amount of cash flow coming in, right? So that's how I moved on from being in a big company to kind of starting things up myself. But the good part was that because I had worked in very good, fast growing companies myself, that kind of experience was super valuable for me to kind of start from scratch and be able to scale the business to where it is right now. So yeah.
Sounds like you had some amazing journey, man. Uh,
Yes.
so let's talk about the impact you want to create as an entrepreneur. I'm sure that you already created a huge impact on health and well-being of others, and the way Keto India has grown so exponentially with millions of followers. That is like a proof of that. So how far do you want to take it, and what are your goals when lifestyle and nutrition are concerned?
Right. So my major agenda is that we've been able to help people reverse their type 2 diabetes, PCOS, hypothyroid, cholesterol massively, and their weight gain issues at scale, right? So we've been able to help people in 16 states in India and 25 countries across the globe fix their various chronic care issues, right? My goal is to go deeper in the country and in India itself, and be able to help people across the globe at scale. That is one thing that I have been planning to go deeper into. We're not just planning to stick to ketogenic diet as a therapy, but we're also doing low glycemic index, balanced meal protocols. Depending on what a person needs, we're trying to kind of give them a personalized nutrition or care protocol, right? And it does not just limit itself to nutrition, but supplementation or any other clinical trial information that a person might need. We want to go that direction as well. So we want to go beyond just the horizon of nutrition, but we also want to go in the direction of clinical trials, hairs or supplementation as well. Apart from that, I'm also planning to go deeper in working with hospitals or clinics on seeing that how we can enable doctors better to be able to treat their patients or people with chronic issues right now, right? So that is something that is there. And apart from that, we also plan to see if we can work on an affiliate model with product companies and be able to help people with quality products as well, right? So there are different kinds of business verticals that we kind of want to work on. So yeah.
What got you started and how did you research and learn about all these things?
Sure. So you're very right there that I was kind of reading about all of this when one of my relatives had their brain surgery. So I kind of had to read quite a bit of clinical information and information myself during that period. But when I went full throttle into this, I kind of realized that I need to know really a lot more information that I knew already, right? So that I could be comfortable speaking to doctors, to nutritionists, and that was outside my comfort zone because I come from an engineering and product management background, right? So I had to really spend a lot of time doing so, and I also took a certification myself. I'm an ISSA certified nutritionist, so I'm an engineer by background, but I took a good healthcare certification so that I was comfortable speaking to people to be able to build protocols that can help people, right? So initial few months were always tough, but after we got good clinical dietitians in the company, good clinical nutritionists in the company, and built technology-enabled solutions, I think that is where we were able to scale really fast, right? So we were able to get technology and nutrition to work together and impact people at scale.
That's awesome, man. So go in detail and tell me how your brand works. You may keep this from the viewer's perspective.
Right. So interestingly, Bob, what happens is that we have people from various kinds of backgrounds that come to our platform, right? So it could be somebody with a weight gain issue, somebody with a PCOS, somebody with a hypothyroid, somebody with a cholesterol or a fatty liver. So people come to us with various use cases, and they want to make sure that whatever issue that they have, they either get completely reversed, and most importantly, they do not recur, right? So these are all rampant problems that people face on an everyday basis, right? So somebody with a girl with a PCOS, so a startling fact is that 1 in every 10 women in India have PCOS, right? And women like these end up having issues like irregular period cycles, facial hair, acne, so on and so forth. And a gynecologist will typically give them a fairly ambiguous advice that you just need to fix your weight gain and you'll be done, right? They come to us that they want to make sure that they don't just lose weight, but they are able to fix their symptoms of their PCOS completely, right? Somebody with type 2 diabetes will come to us and ask us that, hey, I want to be able to make sure that my blood sugar level comes at a normalized level, right? Somebody with a hypothyroid will come to us with different kinds, want to make sure that they lose weight and still are able to sustain their metabolism, right? All these use cases come to us. They fill a form either on our Instagram page or our website, and it's a pretty detailed form where we get a good idea about what their health background is, what their agenda to a keto diet is, and what is it that they want to achieve, right? After that, we typically onboard them with a lot of details about how we typically help them out through product itself and technology. And there is a business development team that gives them a call and gives them complete context about what we do and how we can help them become a better and a healthier version of themselves, right? So that's what we do. And once they're done with the initial consultation call, they typically are shared details in terms of how we can help them out, and they basically pay on our platform, right? After that, there is a certified nutritionist who's assigned to our clients, and they are the ones who provide technology-enabled personalized care protocols to our clients, where we help them reduce their weight, fix their PCOS, type 2 diabetes, and they are able to do these protocols along with what the doctor has to tell to them, right? So it's fairly personalized. And we've seen significantly good results that people with type 2 diabetes, they're typically able to see that their blood sugar levels come down at a massive level, right? People with PCOS, they're able to see significant improvement in their period cycles, facial hair, acne. People with hypothyroid are able to see significant improvement in their weight gain issues, right? People with fatty liver are able to see an improvement, right? So all of that happens in a period of say 3 months to 4 months of time, and then we move them to a maintenance protocol so that whatever results that they've got, they stay with them for long, right? And they don't keep coming back to them. So that's what we do.
Awesome. So I want to know about challenges that you faced as an entrepreneur, especially when you are in the healthcare. People are driven by results. So I'm sure initially you faced a lot of challenges while starting out. And what are the challenges that you face now?
Sure. So there's something that all entrepreneurs should be aware of, that the kind of challenges that you face at an early stage of the company are fairly different from what you face at a mid-level maturity of a company to a phase where you're trying to scale things up, right? And I have kind of seen different kinds of phases in the company. So the initial phase in the company was where we, just had to start things out and get people to trust you. So the kind of challenges you would face would be legal, finance issues, getting the initial people to join the company, right? Because you're the solo founder in the company, so it's very hard to get initial people to get to trust you or your brand, right? So or the initial customers for that matter, it's both ways, right? Because you have to get some initial traction and get people to pay you, right? So that was a tough part. Once we kind of got the ball rolling there, we had to make sure that things were ready for scale. So at a mid-level kind of a stage of the company, we had to build a lot of technology solutions so that things are fairly process-driven and things are fairly product-driven and technology-driven instead of not being process-driven, right? So we built a lot of technology to be able to ease out the life of how a prospect client becomes our client, or how we can ease the life of a client as they work with us, right? So we had to spend a lot of time building technology to automate various processes, right? We also had to spend a lot of time building technology to be able to ease the life of our business development team or our nutritionists. So we had to spend a lot of time there as well, right? Now is a point where we have to scale up fast. Now the kind of challenges that we face is that how do you grow your traffic from where it is to an exponentially fast level, and that is a kind of challenge that we face right now, right? And challenges at all different phases need different level of maturity and need you to kind of have a different kind of skill set altogether, right? So you can be initially a setup guy, but then you have to become a scale up entrepreneur where you're able to kind of scale your company from where it is. So now it is how do you build products that scale? How do you build products that whether it's security, whether it's scaling on traffic, whether it's being able to grow exponentially geographically and go deep into different use cases. Those are the kind of problems that we are working to fix on right now. It is extremely important for all entrepreneurs listening to this is that you have to be a generalist in terms of your approach. It doesn't matter where you come from as an employee, but you have to be comfortable with a huge number of skill sets to be comfortably be able to pull off entrepreneurship as a career, right? What I kind of realized over time is that most companies or startups fail is because the entrepreneurs just have limited skill sets and they are not able to bring those skill sets to talk to each other, right? So for example, I need to make sure that I understand not just nutrition but product management, marketing, brand, business building, technology, business development, sales, persuasion, market analysis, documentation, all those small things combine together to form a bigger picture, right? So the more you are a generalist in terms of your skill set, the more you will grow and prosper and thrive. That will make sure that you hire people better than you also in certain skill sets, right? So you'll be able to fill certain voids that you have, right? But till the time you're not a generalist, you'll not be able to understand what skills you need to be able to hire for also, right? So it's extremely important for all entrepreneurs to be extremely receptive to new knowledge and new skill sets that they can eventually use in their own company.
Great. I absolutely agree to that, man. So moving forward, so apart from being an entrepreneur, you're also into creative space where you are part of open mic, poetry, storytelling. So does this creative zone help you in terms of business scalability, and if yes, how?
Yes, absolutely. I think it has played a very critical part in my entire career journey. I would probably say it's probably something that I really enjoy creating. I did not do it with any sense of purpose, but I kind of really enjoyed the process of writing poetry, humor, creating art, or open mics for that matter. And I think the fact that I've been able to create art for a very long period of time. I've been doing it for almost 8 to 10 years. But the fact that I'm able to create consistently on the art front, it reflects in the kind of products and features that I build in the company, right? So I think the major skill that art teaches you is that it teaches you empathy massively, right? So it means that you're able to detach yourself from who you are and still be able to understand the customer problems or people's problems, and then be able to create art from it, which is relatable and which strikes a chord with people, right? And that is something that is extremely important to be able to build scalable businesses also, that you should be able to empathize with what kind of problems people are facing and what is it that they do not tell you that you still should be able to build, right? So it's not just about people telling you that they want needs to be built, but what is it that they don't tell you that wants to be built also, right? And a sound understanding of having created art in various forms has really helped me to be able to build products and processes that people really want and care about. That is one, and second is it really teaches you to make sure that you keep upping your game, right? So I think when you are actually done writing one poetry or one joke or one performance for an open mic, the moment you're done with it, the next thing is what is it that I can create next that can continue to excite users. And it's exactly the same skill that is needed here as well, that what is it that I can create that can continue to excite users and keep coming back, right? And these kinds of skills really go a long way to really help us build and scale the company. I genuinely believe that people who understand art can really build better products, right? Because they have very high empathy, and that's been something that has really helped me in my journey as well, subconsciously so, but yes, significantly helped me.
I'm really inspired, man. I've seen your videos on open mics and the poetry and everything that you share. It's really inspiring. I must say
Thank you
that.
so much.
So tell me, Sahil, what is your future vision for your brand and how far do you want to take it?
Mhm. Sure. So, as I said, that right now we've had a decent size and scale of the company, and we've been able to help people at a decent number. I think the coming year, where we're focusing more on going deeper in various chronic ailments, that's the first goal. For the first coming 2 years, I think the focus is to really go deep into these chronic ailments and build communities around people with their chronic ailments and be able to get people to talk to each other. We've already become synonymous to a chronic care management company, probably one of the biggest in India. But we want to make sure that we're able to go deeper and build very close-knit communities that talk to each other. I also want to expand the company on a global scale, and we already have clients across, but we want to be able to go deeper there as well, right? As I said, now we have a lot of technology problems and product problems that cater to scale, and we want to be able to build good products that can enable people solve for their diabetes, PCOS, thyroid, just through technology as well, and that's what we're working on as well for the next couple of days, next couple of years. Yes.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, well, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Sahil, bro, it was a pleasure to have you with us today and getting to know you in person. And of course, your mindset and your journey, this far as an entrepreneur. Guys, I've listed all the social media handles of Sahil below. Do check those out and follow Keto India for more fulfilling lifestyle. So, one last question before we wrap it up. So, what would you like to give anybody who has a plan of creating something of their own and make a living through it? It could be anything like a message, giveaway, advice, quote.
All right. I think the first thing that I would probably tell people is that be very close to action, and that's very important, right? So I've seen that people plan a lot, but they don't execute. So you have to make sure that you're closer to action as much as possible. But as much as you should be action oriented, it doesn't mean that you do not plan, but make sure that you take action as much as possible and as consistently as possible, right? It's not that your idea is mediocre, but you need to make sure that you execute a good number of ideas before you arrive at one that really scales up fast, right? So this is not my first company. I have tried my hand at various ideas, and this is the one that clicked, right? So you have to make sure that you take consistent action, and consistent action gets you lucky, right? So it's never that your first idea will hit big, but you need to kind of make sure that you keep hitting the nail as much as possible and as consistently as possible for you to be able to make your company big or a scalable one. The second thing that I would say is that do not abruptly quit your job. Always have a side hustle, make your business side hustle first, and see there is certain kind of practicality. And when you see that you've got a certain level of size or certain number of people getting to actually pay you, that is the point where you can actually take a slow drift towards a full-time entrepreneurship career, right? So I always tell people to maybe put in more work hours while you're doing your job, and then eventually take the plunge to go deep. And third is embrace the fact that you have to be a generalist. Extremely important. Acquire a lot of skills before you move to entrepreneurship. It teaches you humility like no other career does, because you can be an arrogant employee, but arrogant entrepreneurs never work, because there is so much to learn all the time that you have to be humble, and humility is all that. Humility and lot of skills are what will help you sustain and your company. So yeah, these would be my three major takeaways.
So thank you, Sahil, for sharing this amazing advice with us. And I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you did, please like and share the value with others. Also, comment and let us know your takeaway from the podcast.